Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Dickey Crawford, Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer here at Louisiana Tech. And on behalf of Louisiana Tech, I just want to welcome our visitors here today, the Louisiana Board of Pardons and Committee on Parole Hearings, and just thank them not only for what you do and the important role that y'all play, but thank you for altering your normal schedule to do this here on our campus today. This is a tremendous opportunity for us to have this on our campus, a tremendous opportunity for our faculty, staff, but especially our students to see this in process and see what it looks like and learn from this. And we just appreciate y'all so much for having it here. And if there's anything we can do to make your stay here today a little bit more enjoyable, please let us know. And hope we get to have this on a regular basis here. And so thank you so much for this. And I hope all of you take this opportunity as a learning opportunity just to see what happens here and what they do and the important role they play. So thank you again. And on behalf of Louisiana Tech, we appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. My name is Francis Abbott. I want to definitely thank Louisiana Tech for hosting us today. This is a great opportunity for the board to be in the community here at LA Tech and try and engage the next generation of criminal justice professionals. We utilize this to help come alongside universities and show individuals where those books and the lessons that y'all learn in college, where the rubber meets the road and how it can be used in the criminal justice field. So I want to start by recognizing and thanking Dr. Henderson, the president here at Louisiana Tech. Of course, Dr. Mortissa Harvey, who was very instrumental in getting us here today and having this event set up for us and come alongside of us. Also, Mr. Ryan Richard, the chief of staff for the presidential initiatives. Both of those individuals were instrumental in getting us here today. So really want to thank them. Ms. Cammie Geisman, the executive vice president for external affairs. Also, the campus police. Without them and our staff with probation and parole who are providing security for us here today to help the logistics wise. Also, the IT department here were very helpful this morning and made this event so easy to come on and just get started. So without further ado, we will get started with our first hearings. I have our chairman here, Ms. Cheryl Renatza, our vice chairman, Mr. Steve Prater, and then Pardon Board and Committee on Parole Board member, Mr. Chucky Tillis, who will be presiding over hearings today. We're going to start out with our first hearing, and in between hearings for the students that are present and staff as well that are present, we will take a handful of questions in between hearings. So I encourage y'all to pay attention and then participate in the process as we move through today. And again, thank you, LA Tech, for hosting us.
Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is January 15th, 2026. We are, as has been stated at Louisiana Tech in Ruston. We're very happy to be here, and thanks for the great hospitality that we've seen so far. My name is Cheryl Renatza. I'll be serving as chairman of today's parole panel. My colleagues on the panel this morning, seated to my left is Mr. Chuck Tillis, and to my right is Mr. Steve Prater. Our first, and we have a lot of things going on behind the scenes, as you can see. Our staff is kind of a lot of moving parts working between here and Baton Rouge. So hopefully we won't have any technical issues. With the staff at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge, for the record, would you introduce yourself, please?
Jasmine Thompson.
Dan Cavalier.
All right, thank you. Our first remote location this morning is at CADDO Parish Detention Center. And with the officers at CADDO, please introduce yourself for the record.
Assistant Chief Dashay Darby.
And Captain Robert Montoya.
And we have before, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Deputy Davis classification.
Thanks so much for hosting us this morning. And we have before us Mr. Williams. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for asking. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number for the record.
CARRANZA Williams, 768406.
All right, Mr. Williams, and you heard the introductions. We're here for a revocation decision this morning. Do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Got a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated October 28th, 25?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Williams, based on the information, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer today. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well, your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Tillis, seated to my left, so he'll take your plea. Mr. Tillis.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. How are you?
How you doing, Ms. Tillis?
Good. We have some conditions that you violated. I'm going to read them to you and you can answer with guilty, not guilty, or with a statement.
Yes, sir.
Condition number 4, on or about October 25th, 2025, you did commit the new misdemeanor offense of domestic abuse battery. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with a statement?
Not guilty, Ms. Tillis.
You want to make a statement on that?
Yes, sir. I was about the time I was going to the bank on Uri Drive in Shreveport. When I went to the bank, I was proceeding to get money, and then we actually drove off, me and my spouse. We drove off, and then an officer pulled us over, and he notified me that someone had called the laws and said I had put my hands on my girlfriend, but I never touched her or anything, and she stated she didn't have no bruises on her, and she wasn't threatened by me. And I honestly don't know why someone would call a law, but I understand with everything going on, why they called a law, but I honestly didn't hurt her. I didn't say anything. We just got into a heated argument, but I didn't hurt her physically or touch her.
Okay, do me a favor. Tell me what exactly happened. I read the report.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's different than what you're saying. So when you got there, what really happened between you and your girlfriend?
Oh, when me and my girlfriend got there, we was already arguing on the way to the bank. When we got actually there to pull money out the bank, I was already proceeding to pull money out of the bank. I actually got the money out, and she walked around. That's when she got out the car and she walked around, and we was arguing. The man, whoever called, he said I had put my hands around her throat and proceeded to choke her, but I didn't. I grabbed my girlfriend by her shirt right here, but I pulled her close to me, and I was talking to her. I never pushed her or shoved her against no car, and I asked for the video footage. The bank said they didn't have no video footage of what was going on, because I wanted to actually let someone see that I didn't shove her against no car, and I didn't have my hands around her throat. And when they got there, they didn't see no bruises or anything. And the officer, when he put me in the back of the car, he told me next time we should just argue at the house. And I had said, man, I thought we had the right to argue in public, and I didn't physically harm her. She didn't have no scratches. She wasn't bruised. I didn't even shove her against no car. For you to say I shoved her, the car was already kind of close to where we was pulling money out at the bank. We just got in a real heated argument, and I didn't mean to present myself as that way.
Okay, how long have you been on parole?
I've been on parole since my parole officer told me I made 2 years now. Come on, last year, November 7th, I made 2 years, and I was supposed to be able for my what is my ECC date? I was supposed to be able to get off in June of this year. I was gonna be in my early compliance date.
Okay, that's what I have too. Okay, the next condition is condition number 10. Currently in the rear of supervisional fees with an outstanding balance of $1,020. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I plead guilty to that, Mr. Tills.
Okay, and I apologize. I wanted to ask some of my colleagues if they had some questions to ask you.
Yes, sir.
No, I don't.
Okay. We have, speaking on your behalf today, your girlfriend, Miss Clarkson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Miss Clark?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Fine, how are you?
Good.
What do you have to say on your behalf for your boyfriend?
Like I say, I do understand that it could have been a situation as such, but I've been with Mr. Williams since the year of 2015. He's finna be 26 this year, and I'm finna be 27. So I have been, dealing with him, for a little minute. I do understand that we should have left that for the house, but again, I say at the time I was working at Live Casino. So he had just came and got me from work. Like I say, we're having an argument, not just like a heated argument, but we're having disagreements on the way from Bossier to the bank on Uri Drive. So like I say, we shouldn't have been in public because we're grown enough to handle our business at home, but at the same time, like I say, we've been together for so long, and it was just a heated argument. I wasn't feeling it that day, and like I say, I could have came off, a little bit more light, but like I say, I was just having a disagreement with my boyfriend.
Okay, I read your letter. Did he put his hands around your throat?
He did not.
Where did he grab you?
He grabbed me right here, like he nudged me, like right here, and like he pulled me closer and was like, Bree, stop playing. Like, but it wasn't, I made it clear, because like I say, to piggyback on what he said when I was leaving out of the driveway, the police officers were actually, it was 3 of them behind me, and I let them know off dump when they first pulled us over and told him to put his hands up. I told them that he did not hit me or anything, and I also got out the car and showed them, like I told them, like that I didn't have any physical bruises or nothing like that. We were just simply in a having a disagreement, which we were. But
Okay,
I do understand that we were loud, and I know Mr. Williams is a big dude. So I'm not saying that I'm short myself because I'm 5'11", but when he's standing close to me, it's gonna look like he's hovering, trying to hover over me. But he didn't hit me.
are you afraid of him?
I'm sorry.
Are you afraid of him, Mr.
No,
Williams?
no, sir.
So have you guys had these confrontations before?
Well, again, I say I've been with him since 2015. So yes, we do argue, but we don't have any paper trace of me ever calling the police saying that he's ever put his hands on me. That's why I was trying to see who had called and who had said that he had put his hands on me, because we're just going like our usual day. Like I say, he was actually getting money out of the bank. He banked with Barksdale. So he was getting money out of the bank. So we having our usual day. Like I say, at the time I was employed at Live Casino. So I was working 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and he was working 3:30 or 3 o'clock to 11 p.m. So we kind of had our routine about how we went about doing things.
Okay,
So I had made it clear to them that I didn't have any physical bruises on me, and that I didn't feel like I didn't feel the need to have to call them because I wasn't scared or anything like that. And that's when I started getting antagonized.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Questions?
I have none.
So, Mr. Williams, tell me again about your fees.
Yes, ma'am. I know I'm in arrears of $1,020. My parole officer had advised me that it was classes and things to go to, and I relied on my girlfriend for transportation. So when I got there, I attended some classes to be able to help pay for my parole, and I was in between households trying to make sure that I stay in compliance on my parole by having a steady address, but I was trying to pay, honestly. I was trying to pay. I'm trying to keep bills in order. I don't, and also trying to get my own household. But I also know $65 a month is really no excuse not to pay your parole. But I honestly was just trying to stay free and trying to keep my household and be able to afford to be able to eat from be able to pay for my food and things like that.
Yeah. Have you been to court at all on any of these charges, the new charges?
No, ma'am. I go in March, I think March 10th or March 3rd. I haven't even seen my lawyer or anything about it. But my girlfriend, she has contacted the district attorney and she has contacted my lawyer and presented them with affidavits to let them know that I didn't physically harm or do anything.
So that's still pending.
Yes, ma'am, it's still pending, but I also made bond. I also made bond, but I had a parole hold on me.
Right. Okay. All right. I don't see any other
I
questions.
got another question.
Okay.
How long were you incarcerated?
2.5 years, Mr. Tiles.
Did you take any anger management classes?
No, sir.
Okay. Were they offered to you or you have taken one?
No, sir. I've never took a I would like if it's a opportunity that I could take a anger management class, anything like that, I would take it because I honestly I'm just trying to make a change in my life. I would like to have to stay free because I was trying the best I could and I honestly didn't want to go back to where I just really fought to come home.
Okay, thank you so much. I have no more questions.
All right. I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Tillis?
I am going to, my vote's going to be do not revoke, and I hope that you two can solve your differences in a better way than what you are. So my vote today is do not revoke.
Prater?
Mine's the same, and I think you need with a job like you got, you can catch up on the fees that you owe for your parole. And also you see how easy it would be to be sent back to prison.
Yes, sir, I do see, Mr. Prater, it's very easily for a decision like this for me to be sent back to prison. And I thank you all for having, really having this sympathy in your heart to, yes, sir, not revoke my parole.
Okay, well, my vote's contingent on your girlfriend, and she told the police when they first arrived that you weren't aggressive or abusive to her at the time. That's not normally what we hear. Normally that a lot of times the girlfriend or boyfriend will change their mind and tell the police one thing, and by the time the hearing comes up, they'll tell them something different. But in this case, I believe both of y'all. I think it was just you were pulling her in kind of close. Can't be doing that. Leave women alone. Don't touch them. Don't touch your clothes. Don't touch anything.
Yes, sir.
All right, my vote is do not revoke.
All right, Mr. Williams, based on the information we have in the evidence or lack of evidence, my vote is the same. Do not revoke. We'll issue a reprimand and return you to supervision.
Yes, ma'am, I thank you so much. Yes, ma'am, thank you all.
Good luck.
It's bad.
That's it? Mm-hmm. Come on.
We're live. All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is now convening. We're at Elaine Hunt Correctional Center. It's 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, January 15th. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning, Deputy Warden Stephanie Michelle, Chris Long, patient, Jackie Terry Records.
All right, thanks for having us there this morning. And we have Mr. Marshall there before us this morning.
Yes,
Would you introduce yourself, Mr. Marshall? Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
John Marshall, 104386.
All right, Mr. Marshall, my name is Cheryl Renatza. I'm serving as chairman of your panel today. Mr. Tillis is seated to my left. Mr. Prater is seated to my right. I'm going to read some identifying information into the record, Mr. Marshall, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tillis because your case has been assigned to him. He'll take the lead on the interview. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, Mr. Marshall, you are classified as an 11th felony offender. You are serving a life sentence as a habitual offender. You were sentenced in October 2009 in Caddo Parish for distribution of cocaine. Your parole eligibility date was May 29th, 2019, and you do not earn good time. Is that information correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tillis?
Good morning, Mr. Marshall. How are you?
Good morning. Fine.
Good, good. Could you tell us what caused you to be incarcerated? And what did you do to cause yourself to be incarcerated?
I was arrested for distribution of cocaine. I had been working a job and was laid off because of my heart. I wound up having a triple bypass. So we was running short on money and I was shooting dice, and one thing led to another. Police came to arrest me and he gave me a drug charge.
How long have you been selling drugs?
Couple of months.
Couple of months?
Yes.
How long have you been using drugs?
I started using drugs when I was a teenager, but I quit about 89.
You quit in 89,
Yeah.
1989. You are an 11th offender and it's all been with drugs. So you said you've been selling drugs a couple of months?
Yes.
Okay. I saw you you took some classes. Didn't you take some classes while
Yes,
you're
sir.
incarcerated?
Yes, sir.
Which one impact you the most?
AANA, I guess.
What did you learn in that class?
Well, I learned that my problem with drugs was something that I couldn't handle on my own, that I needed help with that problem. And I finally got with an organization that could help me. And help me, they did. And now I've been in the class for like 3 years, since 2023. And I've been trying to help other people. And I feel good about that. No, it's
So-
like,
Have you used drugs since then?
no, sir.
You
I
have.
don't use cigarettes.
When was your last write-up?
When I started, 22. 2020, in 2022.
Okay. Warden, do you have anything you can tell us about Mr. Marshall?
No, sir, he came to Hunt in 2022. He lives in our medical dorm. And he hasn't had he had a write-up prior to him coming to Hunt. So he hasn't had any write-up since being here. So he's pretty much in our Fox 2 dorm for several medical issues.
Are there any programs there you can offer him?
Yes, sir. Think he took the AANA when he got here.
That's what NAAN.
But we do have other programming here.
That's it? Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a couple. Mr. Marshall, tell us about your health. I see, gee, you've been in and out of the hospital since 2019.
Yes.
How would you describe your health?
Well, I'm a diabetic with high blood. I had triple bypass. I got bad kidneys. My kidneys going out. I got glaucoma. And there's a couple of more issues. It's quite a few.
And you've been in and out of the system quite a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
How many, we talked about the write-up you got in 22. What was that for?
Dude wanted to fight. Old man wanted to fight. I just put him on the ground and held him because people came and got us.
So it was a fight?
Excuse me?
It was a fight?
I didn't hit him. I just, when he swung at me, I just caught his arm and put him on the ground until the freak people came and broke us up.
What was the rule number?
Excuse me?
What was the rule number?
10.
10? Okay, so yeah, it was for fighting. How many total write-ups are in your jacket?
10.
10?
10 for
How
18
long-
years.
Yeah, how long you been in jail this go round?
Since 2009,
So how many
Right.
years is that?
right at 18.
What's the longest period of time you've been in jail in your life?
4 years.
4 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been, what, how old were you when you were first arrested?
17,
How old are you now?
71.
All right. How many victims would you say you had, if any? You ever given that any thought?
I haven't had any victims. I didn't have no violent offenses.
No, the people you sold the drugs to were victims. You ever thought of that?
If I looked at those people, I'd say it was about 18.
All right. Have you ever taken the program called Victim Awareness?
When I was in Angola.
Okay. All right, Mr. Prater.
Yeah, Mr. Marshall, the way I counted up on rough count, you've been arrested 45 times. Does that sound about right?
45 times.
Yes, sir. Going back for the last 54 years. 54 years ago was the first time you were arrested. And since then, you've been arrested. I counted 45 times, from everything from first-degree murder, several
No.
armed robberies.
No, sir.
Well, it says it on your rap sheet.
No killed to hurt anyone.
What do you do? Are you saying that's wrong and it's not on your rap sheet?
That's right.
Well, let's see here. It sure says that and usually these things are not wrong. You got an extensive criminal record, and you're not in jail for just the fact that you sold cocaine. You're in jail for being a habitual offender, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Marshall, what skills have you learned since you've been in and out of?
I could mess with AC and heating. I do landscaping. was planning on working with my niece because has her own license for, real estate. So I'll be upgrading property and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. I have no more questions.
All right, I think we're ready to vote. Mr. Tillis?
Mr. Marshall, due to strong law enforcement against you, and at this time, my vote is going to be to deny.
Mr. Prater?
Deny.
Mr. Marshall, my vote today also is to deny based on your prior criminal history, the law enforcement opposition, and the fact that you got a write-up 3 years ago. I know it was, well, a little over 3 years ago. I just don't think you're ready for release, sir. Haven't demonstrated that to me. So today, sir, your parole's been denied.
Don't know to do that.
Right, we have Mr. Bradford.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
ZHAVEA L. Bradford, DOC number 766-755.
Would you pronounce your first name for me again?
ZHAVEA.
Xavier, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. And I see you have some paperwork there with you. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated? Well, I see two, one dated November 3rd and then November 13th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so based on that information, sir, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Are you ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater, who is seated to my right. He'll take the lead.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bradford. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Doing better than you. I'm not in jail.
Yeah.
A good thing. We need to talk about the incident that occurred on May the 10th of 2025.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're here to talk about that. And you were paroled 8/14 of 24. So you've been on the street for 8 months and you agreed to certain conditions. And one of those conditions was condition number 4. And condition number 4 says you're going to stay out of trouble. You're not going to be arrested. You're not going to be around illegal drugs. You're not going to be around criminals, that sort of thing. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you signed that form agreeing to that. And then now you got arrested. You got arrested in Texas for domestic violence. What is that correct?
It was actually a Class C misdemeanor assault, actually. It wasn't a domestic.
Okay, well, you were arrested for the domestic and it was reduced to the Class C,
Okay.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought I had it right. Okay, and that's what, did you commit that battery? Did you do the domestic situation in Dallas that you pled guilty to?
Which one? You saying the second degree battery that I'm on parole for, or the assault case?
No, so the assault case, the parole, the time your second degree battery that you're on parole for, we're not here to talk about the fact that you did that.
Okay.
You already been found guilty of that.
Right.
Did you actually do the battery against your girlfriend?
Actually, I actually don't recall due to me being up off of my meds, and I have, proof that I was under mental health evaluation things and diagnosed, and I wasn't given the proper medication at the time of the incident. Really, I kind of like blacked out due to me not being on my meds, and since I've been back incarcerated, I actually been back on my meds normally and things like that. But I have proof of all of that diagnostics and everything of me, having mental illness, and I also have the paperwork showing, the mental illness medication that I receive as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand about your medications and all of that, and claiming you blackout and don't remember it. Do you remember her shooting you?
I woke up in the hospital. Basically been told, that I was facing a Class A misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury. That me and my girlfriend had an argument and things had escalated, and that I was shot and things like that. But I don't recall like any of the actual like detail for detail things that happened due to me, not being on my medication. And I was trying to get on my medication when I was released, but I wasn't on Medicaid or Medicare or any kind of insurance to provide me with the medication that I actually needed. So I was going through like walk-in clinics, and every time I would go through a walk-in clinic or things like that, I would get billed for it, and they would never prescribe me any kind of medication or anything like that. They would just keep, just
Okay,
basically.
let's not chase too many rabbits. I understand you said didn't have your medicine, couldn't afford it, didn't take it. So when this occurred, you blacked out and don't remember anything. Is that basically what we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you own any rent houses over there in Texas?
Yes, sir.
You got rent houses. Do you have a job over in Texas?
I was working, for ABM at the time, yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own a home over there worth about $400,000, right?
No, I actually got, two houses that I co-own.
Okay. Sound like to me you could afford some medicine.
Well, from when I went in there, like just to go to a visit, to just even see a doctor or anything like that, that was $900,000 every visit, you know, and I couldn't afford $900,000 every time I went into a hospital or every time I went into a treatment center or things like that for medication and things like that. I really couldn't afford that.
Okay, well, let's talk to your girlfriend. I believe it's your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or girlfriend. I
So
can't
this is my
remember which.
girlfriend. Yes.
Miss Keontae Carver, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Carver, tell us what you remember about this incident when you
Well-
shot him.
Well, the day I shot him, like I have spoken and said that several times, that was not him. That was the regular him. I have dealt with past trauma. So to me, it wasn't new, but coming from him, it was. And I was scared on my behalf. But like he's telling y'all the truth. He has admitted to me. He has went to his work, his parole officer and family members. We had tried. He is now insured as we speak of today because I had finally got him approved. So he's able to get the proper care that he needs. He's not an abusive person on a regular basis. I had never seen him like that before. It's like he was angry, but he was trying to, like he was hitting his head and stuff, trying to figure out what, like what he's doing, but he couldn't quite grasp it.
Okay, so you shot him and the police responded, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you say this didn't like him. He never done anything like this before, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, what about when you told the police that on May the 9th of 2025, he uppercut your jaw? What you said, he gave you some uppercuts to the jaw because you had your eyes covered, so he started hitting up under your chin. Remember when you told the police that?
And what day was that pertaining? That day there?
That was May the 9th.
Yeah, that was the day I shot him, correct?
And you shot him the next day.
Now, on the day, I know I didn't mean the day before. I meant to say the day, like he was out of control.
Okay.
Prior to that, we had no incidents.
Okay, what about on April the 29th, which would have been 10, 15 days before this? You said he gave you 2 black eyes. You told the police that. Remember that? It's in the police report. I don't know, you might not have, they might have made that up. See, well, we deal with this quite often where people recant. And that's what you're saying. You tell the police something and it was bad enough to where you shot him. And now you're saying he's never done that.
No, he hadn't.
Okay. All right. And then of course we don't need to talk about another time where you had a swollen jaw and had to go to the doctor and get some medicine or something from it. So,
That
anyway,
came from me.
that's all I
A couple
have.
of them incidents came from me fighting with women behind him.
Fighting with women behind him?
Yes, sir. He was cheating.
Okay. That's all I got.
Are you saying that he didn't give you 2 black eyes? He never hit you?
Yes, sir.
He's never hit you?
No, sir. Not until that day.
Okay. I have no more questions.
I don't have any particular questions either, so I think we're ready to vote. Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mr. Bradford, one thing that we have to determine whether to send you back to prison or not is if you're a danger to the public. And it sounds like that you kind of violent and you're certainly not religious about taking your drugs that you need, that you say you need. And so I'm kind of scared that you black out again and start hurting somebody. My vote is to revoke you, sir.
Well, now I'm insured, so now I will be able
Mr.
to.
Bradford, Mr. Bradford, we're voting.
I concur with Mr. Prater.
My vote today also is to revoke based on the nature of the offense. So today, sir, your parole's been revoked. All right. Mr. Landrum,
Yes, ma'am.
good morning. Good morning. Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Charles William Landrum, 247262.
Okay, Mr. Landrum, I'm going to ask you some questions. I have a parole revocation questionnaire for you, which determines your eligibility for appointed counsel. However, I'm not sure if you signed it or not. There's no signature in the blank for your name, but somebody signed as a witness, and I don't know if that's you or not. So I'm just going to ask you the questions. Have you been treated for mental illness in the past 5 years, or are you currently taking medication for a mental disorder?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can you read and write?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand the parole violations against you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And do you want to speak on your own behalf?
Yes, ma'am, I'll speak.
So based on the information that we've just discussed, you don't qualify for an appointed lawyer. So you're ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, sir. So your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Would you answer his question?
Hello, Mr. Landrum. You
How you
doing
doing?
okay today?
Yeah, I've been better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you get out of prison and you agree to go on parole, you sign a sheet that says you'll abide by certain conditions. One of those conditions is condition number 4. This condition 4 says that you're going to still stay away from illegal drugs and alcohol and not be arrested and not have guns and not have hang around people, bad people that maybe get you back in trouble. You remember signing that and agreeing to that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And so we're here to talk about number 4 and the fact that you were arrested in Texas and convicted of second offense DWI.
Yes, sir.
Were you found guilty of that?
No, sir, I pled guilty to that.
Okay, you pled guilty to that. So I would assume, does that mean that you're pleading guilty to violation of condition 4?
Well, what had happened was that I blew the legal limit, 0.08. I don't know if you have that in front of you.
Yes, sir. I've got the reports.
Yes, sir, I blew the legal limit, but what they had told me is that I was off parole in Louisiana. I was sentenced under the 280 Act, and I was arrested in 2012, and then it was over. Then my parole should have ended in 2024, January the 7th. And my parole officer said that we're waiting on your diminution of sentence from Louisiana and that you're no longer on parole. So I decided to drink a beer on the way home from work, 1 beer, after I got off of work on August the 8th. Picked up 2 beers, actually. One was in the console and one was in that I had drank. It was pulling in my driveway. So there was no late night, going out all night partying. I had just got off of work pulling in my driveway. I mean,
Yes.
that is God's honest truth, what I'm telling you. I have no idea what happened, why they didn't send my definition of sentence to me, telling me that I was off of this parole.
Okay, you mentioned in 2012 where you got a DWI then, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you went to prison for DWI, 4th conviction, right?
That's correct.
How many DWIs have you had?
I've had 4. Now, this one right here, they dropped it to a second offense. And they had convinced me that I was no longer on parole, or I would have bought this one because I blew the legal limit. But when my lawyer sits there and tells me you have no parole holds, you're off parole. If you plead guilty, Mr. Landrum, you will go home today. I would have thought this. I blew the legal limit. How do you
Well, it's
get
kind of-
a DUI when it's the legal limit? At what point does it say that you're drunk or you're not drunk? There's no gray area here, sir.
I'm not getting into all that with you because this isn't a court of law.
Yes, sir.
And the fact that you pled guilty to it, and it kind of tells me that you pled guilty to drinking and driving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
And
you got out of prison 4 times drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And so what we have to decide today is if you should go get back out, or you learned your lesson, or you going to stay in jail for drinking and driving.
Well, no, sir, I thought that I was completely sober because when I had actually had the intercount the thing with the cop, I was pulling in my driveway. So at that time, I would have probably blew .04. So I drink in moderation. I don't get drunk. I drank a beer on the way home. I don't know how this turned into this. When you, and I mean, and I just don't understand why they wouldn't just give me a ticket for an open container and let me go about my way. And it's beyond me. If I would have been drunk, I would have been in here pleading for mercy.
Yes, sir. Well, drinking and driving, Mr. Landrum, is that's kind of like, no matter what your limit was, you agreed not to do things that were criminal in statute, and this is exactly why you've stayed in trouble. And it's kind of like being a little pregnant. A little drinking and driving is, I mean, that doesn't get it when you're on parole for that. You
Yeah.
understand?
Well, I mean, I would plead for mercy on this, and I'm more than likely fixing to get full my time back. I understand that. The thing about it is I do what's right out there, and I still get treated in this way. I moderate what I do. I'm thinking I'm off parole. If I'm sitting here looking at the records, lady, I'm praying we can go in here in just a minute and find out that I was off parole in 2024, January the 7th, and I never got my time calculated, and then all this subject is mute.
Okay, I'm ready. I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Charles, you've been arrested 4 times for DWI.
Yes, I have.
Have you had any classes? Have you tried to get any help for your problem?
Yeah, I went to the Steve Holt program when I was up here and never even got credit for it on my time sheet. And I'm trying to fight for that. That would have put me off parole even sooner.
Mr. Landrum, do you understand when you you were released on parole, not on good time, is that right?
No, I was released on I had to do 35%. So when I got out, I did 5 years without any trouble whatsoever, went through it. And then when I reached my time that I had calculated that I was off parole, I drank a beer.
In the car while you were driving?
Well,
but do you have a current copy of your master prison record?
No, ma'am, I don't.
So you were sentenced in March of 2016 for the DWI that Mr. Prater referred to, and you got a 25-year sentence.
Yes.
Okay. So you do have a copy of your master prison record somewhere?
Well, no, I'm just very familiar with this. It's been on my mind for a long time.
Okay. All right, Warren, I want to be sure he has a copy of his current master prison record. Can you be sure that he has one? I don't see any other questions. I think we're ready to vote. Mr. Prater?
Yes, sir, Mr. Landrum. With your history of drinking and driving, I don't think the public's safe out there with you being out of jail. My vote is that you violated condition number 4. You got to learn that you can't drink and drive, and especially when you're on parole for drinking and driving that many times. It's just a matter of time before you kill somebody. My vote is you violated condition number 4, so your parole is revoked. That's my vote.
Mr. Tellis?
My vote is also revoked for condition number 4.
And Mr. Landrum, I too find that you violated condition number 4. My vote is to revoke, so it's a unanimous decision that your parole is revoked, sir.
Yes.
And that concludes our business at Hunt, Warden. Thanks for helping us out today.
That's what I
Okay. All right. Good morning. The Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're at Raymond Laborde Correctional Center in Cottonport. Good morning, Warden. Would you and any staff please introduce yourself for the record?
Nikki Shinbear, Deputy Warden. Raven Heath, Classification. Melissa Joshua, Records.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having us today. And we have Mr. FULLILOVE.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and your DOC number for the record.
My name is Brian FULLILOVE. DOC number is 471907.
Right. And let me acknowledge we have some folks here who have joined us. Let me see if I can get to that list. Here we go. We have your nephew. How do you pronounce? Is it G. Corey?
Yes, ma'am.
Corey FULLILOVE, Dina Daniels, your aunt, and a friend, Bobby Washington, and all of those folks want to speak on your behalf, and we'll ask them to do so at the appropriate time. First, let me just read some identifying information into the record, sir. So you're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 40-year sentence. You were sentenced in Jefferson Parish in March of 2005 for manslaughter. Your parole eligibility date was August 6, 2024, and your mandatory release date, good time date, is August 11, 2037. Does all that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. FULLILOVE, your case was assigned to me. Now and so I'll take the lead on the interview. So you were on a docket. I mentioned your parole eligibility date was in August of 24, and you were on a docket in May of that year, but you were removed from that docket because you had a write-up.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you appealed that write-up, and that appeal was granted, and that write-up was expunged from your record. So now you do meet the statutory requirement to be write-up free for 3 years. It's been over 3 years. So tell us, why are you in jail? What happened?
Well, on May 10th, 2024, I went by a friend's house on Mother's Day. It was by a sister house. We ate, we had a few drinks or whatever. And when night came, the two guys that was there talked to me about going to break into somebody's house. And I agreed to do so. They told me that no one was going to be there. And we went that night. So when we get to the house, we tried to kick in the front door, but the front door didn't budge. So we went to the back door. The back door had a like square glass pieces in it. So the two guys who I was with, one of the guys pulled out a gun, and I asked him, "What you doing with the gun?" But he didn't answer me. So we hit one of the little square pieces of glass out of the door. So we opened the back door and we went into the house. It was dark. I'm thinking that nobody wasn't there. So as I make my way through the house, I get to this room, and I think I had seen somebody laying in the bed, which somebody were. So when I seen it, I was like, I think somebody's laying in the bed. So the guy with the gun, he came and he was like, where he at? Where he at? So he shoved me out the way. And when he walked into the room, he just walked up to him and shot him. And I don't know why he done that. But I stood in the doorway for a while and I was shocked because I just couldn't believe, why did he do that? So he was coming towards me. And and he like shoved me out the way, and the victim still was on the floor. He was bleeding real bad, and I don't know, something just drew me over there to him. And as I went over there, he was trying to say something, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, so I knelt down, and he was asking me to help him. And in that moment, I didn't know what to do. A part of me wanted to stay, and a part of me wanted to leave. I was scared, so I left. And that's basically what happened.
So your original charge was second-degree murder, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you pled guilty to the amended charge of manslaughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And there were 4 of you altogether, I believe. 2 of your co-defendants were found guilty of second-degree murder, and they're serving life. And then another one pled guilty to accessory to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 2.5 years. And then the 4th co-defendant also got a 30-year sentence. So how long have you served so far?
Excuse me?
How long you been in jail?
20 years.
20 years?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
I am 46.
Okay. So you were on probation for unauthorized entry at the time of that crime, were you not?
Yes, I was.
So I'm trying to figure out why you just said, yeah, you said somebody came and said, let's go rob somebody. Why did you say, okay?
I had a drug problem, and they told me that they had money and cocaine in the house. And that's the only thing that was on my mind at the time, to go find some drugs. And that's why I agreed to go.
So you've been in jail for 20 years. Tell us, and I have a record of the programs that you've completed. Which of those programs did you get the most out of?
Well, I can honestly say welding, because I actually had found something that I love to do. And I want to continue to do that if I'm released from prison. Welding has really taught me to have more principles, have more morals, to make right decisions, to be a man. It gave me a lot of hands-on with building stuff, so that really helped me a lot.
So what have you done to address your drug addiction? You mentioned you had a drug problem.
What have I done? Well, I'm currently in NAA right now. And I actually been sober for 20 years now. The reason why I say that, because when I first came to prison,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
when I first came to prison, the drugs was presented to me, but I had to make a decision to whether continue to go down this same road or take a different path. So I chose to take a different path, and I haven't touched drugs from the past 20 years.
All right, well, we'll have some more questions for you in a minute. We want to hear from the folks that want to speak on your behalf. And first, could we hear from your nephew, G. Corey?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Yes, ma'am. How you doing? My name is Jacory FULLILOVE. I am here on the behalf of my uncle Brian FULLILOVE. I want to clear up that our family understands the seriousness of this offense and the harm it caused, and we're not here to excuse it, you know. Over the years of speaking to my uncle in jail, not growing up with a father, getting advice from him means a lot to me. And knowing that he have missed so much time out of his kid's life and not having that time to be able to communicate with him as much time as he would if if he was free, and not being able to see his family anytime he feels like. Over the years, my uncle has taken responsibility of his actions and no longer talks about the situation or try to point fingers. He takes accountability. He takes blame. He takes his responsibilities. If released, I truly believe he'll be a better person based off of what I've known and I always known in my life, and I know he's been a better person. He always have been. He had a good heart. I just honestly believe in my thoughts. He was in a bad situation, being addicted to the drugs and being around the wrong environment. I also believe that if he is released, that in my own blood, I really believe he will never be in that situation again. He will not be in that environment. He will be in a stable home where he has family and good community around him that will support him. Um, we believe in safety supervised in the community, and we appreciate the board and time for my consideration.
Well, thank you. We appreciate hearing from you. Could we hear next from Ms. Dina Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Dina Daniels. I am the aunt of Brian FULLILOVE. I want to say thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to speak on his behalf. We do understand the offense that he committed was very heinous, but we know him to be a very loving, caring nephew and great family member, great father to his kids. Although he was on the drugs at the time, he always was present in his kids' life. He was there during their birth. Due to the drugs, I believe he was not thinking clearly. He wanted to do whatever he needed to do to give him comfort in not being the dad he knows he could be for his kids, being that he was on the drugs. I know that if he's released from jail, he'll be home with me. I am asking him to come and live with me once he's released from jail. I'm a church going aunt. I know who God is. I'm a God-fearing woman. I believe in second chances. And I believe that he's been studying the word while he's incarcerated. He's God-fearing now. He has a loving family that's willing to take him in and help him with anything he needs help with. And I do want to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And then we have family friend, Bobby Washington. You're still on mute, Miss Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to speak on his behalf. I'm not just a friend to I call him Buddha, Brian FULLILOVE. And he's been with me, living with me since he was 16 years old. And I had him for a long time in my life. And I love Brian. Brian was such a smart young man, but once he got into the drugs, you know, drugs will cloud your mind. He had bad influence around, and I knew that. I even sent him once to my brother in New York, and he welcomed him in his home. And he's a pastor, Pastor Willie Lewis. And you know, sometimes when you have good influence around, you know, you try to put him in the best environment and with the best people, but yet and still, you know, he can be influenced. But I think that if he had another chance to, do better and do right and be faithful to himself and to God, that he will do the right thing to try to change his life. He has children, 2 children, and I know he loved very much. And I would love to see him, out and free again. I missed him for all those years because he was deeply into my life. And I just appreciate y'all giving me a chance to speak on his behalf. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And we appreciate hearing from you.
Thank you.
So we do have with us today also some opposition representing the victim. We have Ms. Christine Patriola. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that, but we'd like to hear from you.
Ma'am?
Yes, we'd like to hear from you. Would you just introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Christy Petrolia.
Tell us
and
what
CJ was my little brother. So CJ was my little brother. I just heard Mr. Fullilove speaking, and I broke down knowing that my brother was asking for help. And I didn't want to speak, but my brother was a very loving, very kind person who loved his son more than anything. He was a great father. He was a great brother. His son has missed out on his father his entire life. And I feel for the family of Mr. Fullilove as well. But my nephew never knew his daddy since he was 3 years old, never had a relationship with him. This has greatly affected our family. It's affected my life as a person. And it was such a tragedy. And I just don't understand. There's circumstances surrounding, and you knew what was wrong. He asked for help and no one called the police or turned themselves in until someone else said something. They knew the family was grieving. They knew the family was looking. They knew there were people that cared. And nothing for years. And I forgive each and every one of them because I am a Christian woman and I believe in second chances. And I just believe in my heart that if you're a changed person and you found God, there's always, if you do something, there's always consequences. Every life choice, there's always a path that you have to walk. I've made choices in life and I've had to walk that path. Regardless of how much God loves me, that's part of his plan. And if you're that God-fearing man, I just believe in my heart that he should be where he's at to help other people to find God and realize that they're going to make it too. And I do not agree with him being released early. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. We have from the DA's office in Jefferson, Mr. Myers.
Good morning. Excuse me, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We're opposed at this time to Mr. Fullilove's request. Number one, as you heard, there's victim opposition. Number two, there's we feel insufficient programming. Looking at the programs he's taken, living in balance, anger management, in 100 hours. In 20 years, he's done those 3 programs. That's it. No substance abuse, other than what little bit they may get in living in balance. He has gotten some vocational training, and it's concerning when he was asked, what program he got the most out of. It was welding. I guess that's because he hadn't had any substance abuse, although he is participating in AA, he said. I think it's clear based on every one of his supporters have talked about the problem he had with drugs and how bad of a problem he had with drugs, and he's had no substance abuse treatment. Suggests to me when he gets out, he has a real good chance of getting back into that same issue and returning to that, and then potentially returning back to criminal activity. Looking at his disciplinary report, it's fair. He's had 20 disciplinary reports, including a couple of sex offenses. He's had the last 2 disciplines were in 2021 for contraband. I don't know what the contraband was that he was charged with or got the reports for. 2024, he had a disciplinary report for fighting that was expunged, so it didn't disqualify him for from this hearing. But that concerns me with how his disciplinary activities are. The progress report in the record says he has a fair institutional record. That's very concerning that he has a fair institutional record. So for those reasons, and also the fact we feel it's insufficient time served on only about 20 years on a 40-year sentence, and the fact that he was on supervision at the time of the offense, all those reasons lead us to think he has not earned the right to parole and should be denied today. Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate your input. So, Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. FULLILOVE?
He's been with us since 2017, and since
Well, we've lost your audio.
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's been with us since 2017, and since that time, he's gotten his GED, and he has completed numerous vocational programs. But when it comes to self-help programs, he hasn't done anything since he's been here. His last programs were completed in 2011. And I agree with Mr. Myers. I feel like he would benefit from some victim impact and some long-term substance abuse classes, and as well as maybe the sexual idolatry class that we have here, since he does have some 21s in his record.
Thank you. We appreciate your input. So, Mr. FULLILOVE, I did want to ask you about the write-ups. As was stated, you had contraband in 2021. There were 2 of them. What was the contraband?
Cigarettes.
Both times?
Ma'am.
Okay. What kind of community service work do you do in your prison community?
Well, I try to be the best example that I can be. I try to help the younger guys that's coming into prison. I try to talk to them and try to get them to go down the right path, and not go down the same path that I went. Because they have a lot of opportunity here in this prison, and I just encourage men to get these classes, these vocational classes, and just try to do their best to try to be released.
So you've been there 9 years there at that facility? About 9 years?
I think a little longer than that.
Yeah, she said 2017. So why haven't you enrolled in the self-help programs?
That's a good question. I don't, because I really, honestly, I really feel like that I didn't have the drug problem anymore. And I thought that it would be okay for me not to enroll it, since I've been sober for 20-something years. So, but I know that I should have taken the initiative to get into programs, and I didn't. And I am truly sorry for that. But in that process, I just try to be a better man. and do what's right.
Have you ever heard of a program called Thinking for Change?
Yes, ma'am.
What about victim awareness?
Yes, I've heard of that class as well.
What impact do you think you had on your victim and his family? Have you ever thought about it?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm truly sorry because I should have said this in the beginning, that I am deeply, deeply sorry. I know that this situation impacted a lot of people. It impacted my family and my community, but mostly the victim family and their community. I made a bad choice, and my action was bad behind that choice. And I am truly sorry for their loss. And I hope that they can forgive me for my actions. And I hope that they find healing in this situation. It's been very hard because I still hear his voice to this day, asking me to help him. And that's something I have to live with for the rest of my life, knowing that I could have helped someone and I didn't. So that would be one of my main goals, just to, if I was to be released, is to help people. Because I never want to miss that opportunity again.
All right. Before we move on, I neglected to call on Colton, the victim's parents. And I don't know if they're with you, Miss. They would like to have a few words. We'd like to hear from them now. They're still trying to log in. So let me ask my colleagues. Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Bryan, in the whole time I was listening to you, I noticed your family say that you attend church. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
How often do you go?
I try to go every Sunday, maybe.
Okay. What kind of struck me is when Ms. Renatza asked you what impacted you the most, and you said welding. And hearing your statement from the beginning, how you said this person asked you for help. And it just bothered me that you don't show any remorsefulness up until Ms. Renatza just stated some classes that you talked about. But most people since I've been here who really feel remorseful let us know that in the beginning, and you really didn't say anything about that. It was more or less yourself. And I was just kind of disappointed that you didn't say anything about that up front. Are you remorseful for what you've done?
Sir, I am deeply remorseful. This is my first time for parole, and I had so many things going to my mind, but that was my first thing I was supposed to do, and I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. This is something I wanted for the past 20 years, is apologize to the victim's family. I really, really am sorry for their loss. I am deeply sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's not necessary now. I mean, I've just seen people who are remorseful. Normally from the beginning, they will emphasize that. And you even said, this guy asked you to help him. And you walked away from him. And even after 20 years being incarcerated, I think that would have been probably the first thing I would have emphasized. But if you're released, what do you plan to do?
I plan first of all to go get me a job. I plan to go out there and actually be a man and be a productive citizen for once in my life. Not only that, I want to get involved into some youth programs to help the younger generation. I actually want to be an asset to my community, not a liability.
Don't you think since you're there and you have the time to take those classes, you would do that? That would help you to go out there and help other people?
I would.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I see the family is on.
Yeah, I think we have Mr. Colton and his wife that would like to speak. We're ready.
Good morning. We have Mr. Colton Lyle, Miss Suzanne, I was gonna say Sue, Suzanne Lyle, and the victim's son, Brian.
Well, we'd like to hear from him now.
Okay. Who's first?
You can go.
Okay.
Sit over here for me.
Forgive me.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Brian Lyle. I am the son of Colton Lyle Jr., who was murdered in 2004. Although the individual seeking parole did not pull the trigger, he was present and supported the person who did. His actions and choices that night contributed to my father's death and forever changed our family. I had lived most of my life without my dad. He will never meet my wife or our children. I will never have the chance to speak to him or seek his guidance. This loss is permanent. While time has passed, the impact of this crime has not diminished. Our family lives with this absence every day, without the possibility or relief or release. For these reasons, I respectfully oppose parole. Granting parole would diminish the seriousness of the harm caused and the lifelong consequences we continue to endure. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am the mother of Colton Jr. For 20 years, I have woken up not able to see or even talk to my son. Our life has changed. Yes, it's been a long time. We've learned to deal with things, but each day I'm remembered by his son and Brian's children, how much that my son is missing. These girls will never get to know their grandfather. And it's remembered by me every day, every time I see him, every milestone that these girls reach. But in my heart, I know my son is with them and he'll always be with us. But every Mother's Day that comes by, I think of the guys that did what they did to my son. How can you go to a Mother's Day barbecue and plan something like this? I've lost a sister. I've lost my parents, my in-laws. I've lost aunts and uncles, but never the pain that I feel in losing my son. I'm not asking for much because I know God will take care of the rest. But what I'm asking you is just remember what he did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Colton Lau. Call me senior, but I'm actually Pops, for my grandkids. but I'm Colton Jr.'s father. Not a day goes by that we don't think of CJ, we used to call him. So I think his son and my wife spoke enough. My feelings are that the serve the time, that's the sentence, serve the time allocated. That's just my opinion. And I thank you for your support.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing your
Nancy.
thoughts.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Brian, I don't see any other questions. I think we're prepared to vote. And I'll vote first. It's very difficult. I'm very disappointed that you didn't take advantage of programs. You yourself said at that facility that there's lots of opportunity there. I agree with what the warden said. I think that you would benefit from some additional programming. And I'm talking about things like, of course, keep pursuing your sobriety through AA participation, but thinking for balance. I think you need to take some victim classes. It doesn't seem, although I hear remorse from you, we had to pry it out of you. And I just think that you could benefit from some more classes. I think your day is coming, but today is not the day from my perspective. So my vote today, based on the opposition we've heard from today and that which we have in the record, is to deny your parole. And I encourage you, stay the course and take advantage of opportunities. And at such time as you're eligible to reapply, do so. Mr. Tillis.
My vote today is to deny. And I too think that you should take advantage of some of the other classes and stuff, and perhaps at another time it might be different.
Mr. Prater.
My vote is also to deny. I think when you took a plea bargain from second-degree murder to manslaughter, that you knew that you were getting something. You got a good deal then, and you hadn't taken advantage of the programming. You got victim opposition, law enforcement opposition. You're on probation at the time that it occurred, so I think you got a lot of strikes against you. I suggest that you stay the course, and maybe we'll feel differently next time. Who knows? But we won't if you don't stay the course. And so, anyway, my vote is to deny.
Today, your parole's been denied, sir.
Hmm.
We need to move
All right,
closer.
we
or
are
something.
back in session at Raymond LaBorde Correctional Center, and I think we have Mr. Henry Harper. Mr. Harper, good morning.
Morning.
Would you, for the record, sir, introduce yourself, tell us your name and DOC number?
My name is Henry Harper Sr. My DOC number is 96533.
Okay, Mr. Harper, let me just read some identifying information into the record, and I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Prater because your case has been assigned to him. So you're classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 100-year sentence. You were sentenced in Lincoln Parish in 1982 for attempted first-degree murder. You received a 50-year sentence. And then in June of 1983, attempted second-degree murder, you received a 50-year sentence. And those sentences are running consecutively.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You do have a parole eligibility date, which was August 1st, 2021. And you do have an adjusted good time release date, which is September 22nd, 2034. Does all that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mr. Harper, how are you today?
All right, sir.
Okay, I want you to speak up real good because y'all are a good ways from the camera and I want to make sure I can hear you well. I need to find out, first off, I want to find out what got you where you are, what you did. And then I want to find out what you did since you've been in prison, what kind of classes you taken, and just tell me what you've learned from being there. And then I want to hear from the warden. I'm going to ask what kind of person you are, what kind of fellow you've been there since you've been incarcerated. And then we'll go to a little bit of family support and then a little bit of opposition. And then we'll ask a few questions. We'll make our decision. So first off, tell me why you're in jail.
Stupidity and immaturity is why irresponsible. All those things. I was just young, stupid, immature, you know, all of that adds up to disaster. And that's what's my problem right there. You know, my ignorance of other people's feelings and emotions and their rights and all. I was just ignorant of everything, you know. All I thought about was my wants, my needs, you know, what I wanted to do. You know, never really thought about the consequences of whatever of what I was doing, you know. Just like the spur of the moment thing every time I do something, you know. And I've had time, you know, to think about all those things and what really caused me to be here, you know, and what I could do to change that, become a better person and all, you know, and be more considerate of other people's, you know, feelings and all, you know.
Okay.
And that's really what got me in this position that I'm in, you know.
So you've learned to be more considerate of others. What else have you learned?
Well, I thought about my life in general, how I needed to change from the way that I used to think and the way that I should think, or how I should carry myself, or how I should consider other people's feelings and needs and wants and everything, you know, consider all of that. So, by me thinking on that level, I made all the considerations of what I need to do to change myself, to become a better person, a more productive person, or that one day when I do get a chance to enter society, I'll be able to be a productive citizen instead of a liability to the community. I want to be be able to be a benefit to the community. So I had to think on the things that I needed to change in my life to get to that point. You know, I haven't had much opportunity to attend certain classes and stuff because of the amount of time that I have. You know, I'm not considered for those classes because they have to consider people's, you know, with less time to place in those classes. So I wasn't able to get, but what I did was throughout the years, I've had different jobs, assignments that where I could learn trades and different things that I could apply to my life once I get out on the streets. And this is the way that I have tried to learn to improve myself where I could be a benefit to society instead of being you know, a burden on it and everything. But I've had certain classes, you know, all of the ones that was available to me that I was allowed. I never was able to get into any vocational classes or anything like that, you know. But I've had like the reentry classes and stuff like that they offer. You know, it's certain ones. I wanted to get into the victim awareness class because I needed to understand, you know, fully understand the problems and the hardship and all that I caused my victims and everything. I thought on this here, and I come to realize that, you know, my selfish ways has caused a lot of embarrassment, hardship, and emotional problems for my victims and everything. So I requested to be placed in this class. I was recommended to be placed in the class, but I never did receive the class because I really wanted to understand the problems that my immaturity caused, you know, so that I could change all this, make sure that I never follow this type of path and be more considerate of other people's. You know, I'm sorry for, you know, the pain and the hardship that I caused to other people's, but all I can do is ask them to, I don't ask them to forgive me because, you know, that's something that they could never do because of, you know, the emotional problems and hardship that I put them through. But I would like to ask that I be, it's my apologies be accepted. You know, I don't ask for forgiveness because that's asking too much for a person to forgive me for all of the wrong that I did them. All I can do is ask that my apology be accepted. And that is sincerely from my heart. I would like for my apology to be accepted, you know. I can't change what happened, you know. I'm not gonna never forget what I did, you know. I think about it all the time and I regret it that I caused so many problems. But like I say, I can't change that. If I could, I would. But I can change myself, which is what I have strived for over the years to make a change within myself so that I could be a better person than I was before. Be more considerate, more helpful, and everything to my community and all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get to all that in my questions in the panel. We're gonna have some questions for you because I want to ask you about victims in a little bit and some other things. And have you taken any sex offender treatment?
No, sir. No, sir. I haven't been able to take that class. That was offered to me at Angola before I came to this institution. I had the opportunity, but I was transferred to this facility before I got into the class.
Okay. Warden, what kind of fellow has he been?
Well, he's been with us since 2017. He has a total of 83 write-ups in his history. I see that he went before the board in 2021, and at that time it was recommended that he did get into some classes, and he's telling me that he was on the backlog for some of these classes. I checked with staff and we don't have a record of him on the backlog for victim impact, but I will ensure that he gets on that backlog. Either way, it's their responsibility to let us know that they want to get in these classes, and he hasn't really done that. Sex offender treatment is not something that we would ever deny him. He's never taken the initiative to get in this class. He did take Living in Balance Phase 1, but didn't try to pursue the Phase 2 or Thinking for a Change. So I think he does need more programming, and he does need to try on his own to get into some of these classes, but I will assist in ensuring that this happens moving forward.
Okay, well, we'll get into a little bit more of that during the questioning there. Mr. Harper, I want to hear from, we've got 3 people and you got a lot of family support, but we got 3 people that are going to speak on your behalf. And then we've got a letter from Miss Laurie James from the 3rd Judicial District Court, District Attorney's Office. And we've got a letter from her. Of course, we won't necessarily read that, but I've got that letter in here, and she's present with us also. I don't know if she's going to speak or not. But anyway, let's hear from your family first, and then we'll hear from any opposition, and then we'll go in and ask you a few questions, because I got some questions for you. Rodney Harper, I think you're on Zoom, and that's the nephew. That's Mr. Harper's nephew. Rodney, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. I don't. Where are you, Rodney?
He doesn't have a camera.
Yeah, my
You
camera.
don't have a camera. Okay, Rodney, tell us what you got on your mind.
Well, I'm here today. My name is Rodney Harper, and I want to say good morning to you all, board. I'm here in support of my uncle Henry Harper, and I do know that he has served nearly a century of his life for his crimes. So I want to apologize to the victims that's involved in this, first of all, because I know that they are dealing with a lot daily. And I do know that we're deeply sorry for the actions that he took, and I know he's sorry. You know, I've been to visit him on several different occasions and spoken to him about his crime. And I was preparing for reentry programs for him. I have those lined up for his reentry. I also have work lined up for my uncle to help him, you know, live a pro-social life. So if we will, you know, I would like for you guys to consider he do have a supportive family to stand behind him. Also, again, we can't forget about the victim's family in this matter. You know, I do think that justice have been served on Mr. Henry's behalf for his crime.
Okay. Well, thank you for those comments there, Mr. Harper. Let's hear from Ricky Harper. And Ricky, are you driving?
No, sir, I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay, well, tell him to stop, please.
Okay, pull over. Right, pull over. Right.
Yeah, pull over somewhere safe, because you're making me dizzy. I can see the sky behind you.
Okay, I apologize for that.
I don't want to have to concentrate on your driving while I'm talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's go ahead while you're looking for a safe spot. Miss Emma Harper. Miss Emma, are you there? You're the sister of Mr. Harper, correct?
Yes.
Okay, tell us what's on your mind, then we'll go back to Ricky in a moment.
Well, I was just sitting and listening to what he has said, and what he has said. I believe in my heart and in his heart that he is truthful for what he said. That he's been there and he's changed because he suffered a lot. He lost a lot also since he's been there. He's lost his mom, his dad, his sister, his brother, and a lot of his family. And I know that he's sorry for the victims and everything, and I'm sorry for them. And I'm sure that he meant everything that he said about his forgiveness and everything, and that if he could change that day, that he would change that day, because that's not the way that he was raised. I think that he was raised pretty good, being considered that we were 15, raised by a single mom, and 11 of us living now, which is 9 living now. And I truly think that he have changed in his heart, and that he's really sorry for the victims. And I too am sorry for them, because they are I know that they suffered a lot and everything, but there should have been a healing process and a forgiveness process in there somewhere along the line, because everybody should have forgiveness in their heart for something, what they do when they're young and stuff. A lot of people have made mistakes that when they were young and everything, that they are sorry for, that if they could change them, that they would change them. And I truly, myself, would change them if I could change them. I'm sorry, and I apologize to the family and everything.
Okay, thank you, Miss Emma Harper. We appreciate those comments. Ricky, you ready to talk to us? Okay,
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I would first like to start off and apologize to the family myself, for my uncle. I would like to start by saying, from a person who's been incarcerated himself, reform is what it's supposed to all be about. And it's supposed to be about reform. And from listening to him talk, from the time I have been interjected into his life, I have heard reform. And like I say, I've been incarcerated myself, so I know the difference between someone who's just talking the talk to get out and someone who's really sorry for what they have done. And I believe in my heart he's sorry for what he have done. And after 45 years, the same time I've been alive, he's been in prison. I can't say enough time, because I don't know what is enough time, but I can say his heart seems like, and it feels like, that he's ready. He's done it, and it's over with. He was a kid when he done what he done, and he is very sorry for that. I really and truly feel he is very sorry for what he done, and he wished that he could take it back. And that's all I have to say is, like, I really feel he's ready.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate those comments, Mr. Harper. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's move on to question you, Mr. Harper, a little bit more about your crime. Let me ask you this. Did you plead guilty, or were you found guilty?
I have several crimes. I have 3 crimes altogether. I served time for forcible rape, which is what I pleaded guilty to. And I received a 20-year sentence for to run concurrent with my 2 50-year sentences.
Okay. All right, so you got 2 50-year sentences, one for attempted murder, and one for attempted first-degree murder, and one for attempted second-degree murder. And those are 50 years each to run consecutive, one right after the other. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you plead to that?
No, I had a jury trial. Within those 2 trials there, I had a jury trial. The first trial I had was in 1981, and I was convicted in 82. And both trials was in 1981. I was convicted in 82, and I appealed, and I had a reversal. and a retrial of, that's why I have one in 1983, because it was overturned. That one was overturned, but the same sentence on the retrial was placed on me from the first trial.
Okay. How many total victims do you have of all the rapes that you've committed and all the attempted murders that you've committed? How many victims total?
I have 3 victims. 3
Two
victims.
victims?
3. I have 3. I have 1 for forcible rape. I have 2 for attempted murder.
Okay. And weren't there some other aggravated rapes that you were charged with also?
I was also charged with on an 8-count indictment.
Yes, sir.
Which was on charges that I could have received life sentences if they would have took me to trial on any of those other charges. Those charges were later dropped because they wasn't my charge. I had 3 charges, you know, and I take full responsibility for what I did.
Okay. Let me see here. I think we about covered everything for me to make my decision.
Got a question. How old were you when you committed those crimes, Mr. Harper?
I was 21.
21. And you've been incarcerated for how long? 44, 45 years?
I've been incarcerated in the DOC system since 1982. I was arrested in 1981.
44 years. Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Okay.
I think we're ready to vote, Mr. Harper, Mr. Prater.
Mr. Harper, I don't, because of a lack of programming, because of what you've said about the victims, we had to pry it out of you about the victims. I don't know why that is, because what you did some horrible things to a number of people. And I don't know that I could live with myself after what you did. And a simple apology is just not going to let somebody get over something like that. So you have impacted their lives much more than your life has been impacted, as a matter of fact. And so because of those reasons, and because of opposition, DA's, assistant DA's letters, because of all of your arrests together, law enforcement opposition, because you hadn't even served one of the 50-year sentences yet. And I know that's a long time, 50 years is a long time, but these are horrible things that you did. So my vote is that you be denied.
Mr. Tillis?
No, consecutive.
Mr. Harper, it seems like you've been incarcerated for a long time, and I feel that you show remorse. It seems like you're really trying to do the right thing. And if you've realized the heinousness of your crimes, today my vote's going to be to grant with conditions, and that is with you getting some classes that the warden feels that you need.
All right, Mr. Harper, I sat on your parole panel in 2022 and you were denied then. And I actually told you then that you need sex offender treatment. I was a little disturbed to hear from the warden that you've not even made any effort to do that. I think it's based on your history of sex offenses. I believe that's critical. So for the opposition that's been expressed in the record and lack of interest in the sex offender treatment program, which I think is critical, my vote today also is to deny your parole. So today your parole's been denied, sir.
Thank you.
Warden, that concludes our business.
Thank you.
Now you want to tell them what